morning everybody, and welcome to another map and lens ride out. First things first, apologies that it's been such a while since I've had a video out, but the ride that I'm doing now I've already done once this month, and then I got back home and tried to edit the footage, and the SD card ended up being corrupted and was no good, no matter how much data recovery software I threw at it. I work in IT, so I have a little bit of familiarity with that sort of thing, but no matter what I did, there was just nothing that was recoverable, so I ended up with about 3 bits of video that without any context weren't much use. So I thought, it's not like it's a hardship having a nice ride out along the North Yorkshire Coast to Whitby, so I thought, why not just do the entire thing again. So new SD card in, beautiful morning. This is the first sort of weekend morning, I think, certainly in the northeast, that we've had where it's been fairly pleasant. Sun shining, temperature's not too bad, there's no wind. Whee! So yeah, so looking forward to this. One up for the first time in a while as well. Wife's at home looking after the grandkids this morning, so it's just me. So yeah, should be pleasant. Just entered the old Victorian town of Saltburn. Beautiful place, very nice. My wife actually has a business office in Saltburn, and my kids used to go to the school that's just on the right behind those fence there. So Saltburn's a place that I drive to and have driven around a lot, quite a bit over the past 4 or 5 years. So I think the plan's probably going to head along the coast through Saltburn and Staithes and a couple of other North Yorkshire seaside villages, with a plan to heading down into Sandsend and eventually end up at Whitby. Now it's Sunday, and it's a pleasant Sunday, and it isn't that early actually, although if you're looking at the clock on the bike, that's actually still wrong. I need to swap that from the clocks going back. But it isn't as early as I was hoping to get out by the time I'd sort of charged up some devices and got the bike and checked the pressures and the fluids and all that jazz. So Whitby's probably going to be really busy, so it'll probably be more like get into Whitby, bit of a drive around, and head straight back. This is one of those videos or one of those trips that's much more about the ride than it is about the actual destination. So yeah, ahead in the distance, hopefully you'll be able to see that, is Cliff, which is part of the Cleveland Way, which is a beautiful walk, really nice walk up out on the cliffs. There's actually some little cottages you can stay in there as well that are fairly close to the cliff. Now anybody who's been to Saltburn will know one of the things it's synonymous with is Saltburn Bank. The GoPro probably will not show this in all of its justice and glory, but as you can see from that sign that we're going up, this is a 1 in 4, so that's, you know, it's not a small bank. Now the previous video that I made, that unfortunately now will never be seen, there was traffic on the hill and it started here, so you can imagine how much fun that wasn't. Stop starting all the way down a 1 in 4 with 2 fairly severe hairpins. So hopefully today it should be much easier experience. Bus there. Nice seafood restaurant open just off the pier as well. It's supposed to be very pleasant. You can just see the grey roof of it there with the little pitched pointy roof. Another fellow biker out enjoying the morning. Wouldn't be a bike ride if you didn't see somebody on a GS, let's be honest. And then down and through and into Saltburn. To be on the lifeboat in my youth, and seeing those breakers out there reminds me of taking the little D-class through there and bouncing over the top of them. I think one of my first jobs as lifeboat crew was ballast, so that's the guy who hangs out the front of the boat to keep the bow down over the choppy waves. So Fun times. Right, so that's Saltburn dealt with. Up out the other side and up along the side of Huncliffe, and then we'll continue south along the North Yorkshire coast. I have to say I've got the heated grips on this morning, because whilst it's not freezing cold, it certainly is. It's far from warm this morning. Hopefully that sun isn't flaring out the lens too badly on the GoPro. It is spectacular out here. Beautiful part of the world. Beautiful part of the world. I was one of the things I found about the GoPros, and I don't know whether other people share this opinion, but the battery life just doesn't seem to be anywhere near as good as what they suggest it is. And I was sitting watching a video last night from Richie Vida. I don't know if you guys have seen him. If not, you should check his stuff out. It's awesome. And he was saying that the way that he does it is he has two GoPros, so he has one mounted on his helmet the same way that I have, and then he has another one mounted just somewhere up here to get a shot back at himself, which is something I want to look to do, just to try and add a bit more dimension to the videos. But this is into Broughton. But what he was saying is that he has the camera that's on the dash, if you like, mounted back at him. He has that connected full time into the bike. Into the charge socket in the bike, so that's continually getting charged while he's riding, which is a top idea. And then he also has the visor mounted one. He has a power bank or something in his pocket somewhere, so he runs the visor mounted one off that, which means that in essence he can just leave it running for as long as he's got space on the memory cards, which is an awesome idea, because then you don't have to keep pulling over and swapping batteries, and more importantly, you can just leave it running the whole time, and you're not going to miss anything that's interesting. I remember from our Scottish trip that we did, our Highlands and our Hebrides trip, which I'll put a pop out somewhere if you haven't seen that. Please take a look. But there was a bit where we were riding along the side of a loch, and honestly, I kid you not, there was a Eurofighter Typhoon just barreled along the side of us. Right across the loch, and then just like pitched up and off into the distance. And it's one of those things where obviously that was the moment that I didn't have the camera recording, but what a shot that would have been. And then there was another bit along that line where there was one of the new electric intercity trains came running parallel alongside. It was like a Top Gear race or something for a bit, and again didn't have the camera on for that bit. And the reason I didn't have it on was because I was trying to preserve battery life until I could think of something interesting to say, which doesn't happen very often. But yeah, so that's something I need to look at doing. The problem is that because these are the old version, the GoPro Hero 3 that I use, the mic's connected via the USB, so I need to find a way to be able to have an extra USB socket and for the charging, and one for the mic as well. So apparently there's a backpack thing you can get for the back of the GoPro, so I messaged a chap about one of those on eBay, so hopefully when I get back today there'll be a bit of news about that. Anyway, right, I'm rambling, so we'll speak to battery. We'll save a little bit of battery now, and we'll pop it back on again when we get a little bit further down the coast. Thanks, guys. So just leaving Loftus, carrying up down the Yorkshire coast, and I have to say I love being on a bike. It's just the best thing. No matter how crappy your week's been with work or whatever, you get on a bike, you fire up. I mean, I've always been a car fan all my life since I was a kid. I was cleaning some bits and bobs out of my mum's loft a couple of nights ago, and the amount of old Top Gear magazines and road trip magazines and stuff that are in there from when I was a kid is well, there's quite a lot of them. But the difference, I think, for me being in a car and a bike is that when you're in a car, because it's got four wheels and because you're in this safety shell, your mind wanders and you think of other things, and you never truly just in the moment of driving, I don't think, if that makes sense. Whereas when you're on the bike, because you don't have that protection and because you don't have that cocoon around you, and because, you know, if you get it wrong when you stop, you'll just fall over. When you're riding, you're concentrating on the job of riding, and your mind just forgets everything else. It used to be the same as when I was a kid and I used to play football. I used to love playing football, and one of the things I used to like about it was that for those 90 minutes when you were playing football, you're so focused on the game that you don't have time to worry about anything else that you might have going on in life. And it's the same with biking. You just don't have the time to think about anything else other than being on the bike. The other thing I have to say that I love is this exhaust that I put on it. Absolutely adore it. I still haven't learned how to pronounce it properly. Delvic. I've got to learn how to pronounce it. But there is a video, and I'll put a link if you want to see me fitting that. But I just love it. It's not intrusive when you're just tooling along. But if you go past, a more inbuilt section with a bit of some high walls, just the sound reverberates beautifully back from it. It's such a nice piece of kit and such a reasonable price, and nobody's paid me to say that. It's just what I think about it with my own money. And if you've got certainly if you've got one of these, if you got an NT and you want it to, still be a really nice tourer, still comfortable and compliant and all the good stuff that the NT is, but if you want it to just have a little bit more in the terms of voice, just so it's a smidge more vocal, you get yourself one of these exhausts because they're awesome. Right, as I'm a new rider and I need to get past this tractor, I'm going to just whack the video off and concentrate on that, and we'll pick up a little bit. But just before we do, look at that view. Wow. Oh, actually, just before I stop, down on the right, that's Bowlby Potash Mine. And back in the day when I used to be in education, we used to be able to take the kids in there, and they used to put them in a minibus and used to be able to drive out to the, not quite to the face, but used to be able to drive out under the sea to, as part of like an educational experience. The kids always loved it, as did I. It was awesome. Just entering the village of Hinderwell. Just to give a little bit of context, I guess, today is the 30th of January. Oh, old Lowe's there, and an old roller, nice. 30th of January 2022. And yesterday, the 29th, was my youngest birthday. And I know that sometimes she watches these videos if there's nothing more interesting on TikTok or something else. So if you are watching, Livia, happy birthday. 13 yesterday. Love you to bits. Had a good clear run so far. Still not really any traffic. Joys of getting out a little bit earlier, I guess. Oh, I felt like I was doing that thing when my voice is going high pitched again. Stop it, control yourself. Too excited to be on the bike, that's what it is. And as Teapot One would say, Nationals! My mind's going through the options for Whitby. Do I stop? Do we get a coffee? Do we get something a little naughtier? A little fish and chips perhaps? Do we not stop? I think we'll see what it's like when we get there, see how busy it is. I'm hoping I can find a little bit of a quiet spot and just give you a little up-to-date tour of the around the bike, because I've made a couple of changes since you guys saw it last probably. There's the exhaust, which you may have already seen the video on. But on top of that, I also fitted the underfare into the bike, just because I felt that I don't know, I like a naked bike and I like a full covered bike, and I felt like the NT kind of trod the line between the two a little bit. So you had the completely exposed naked engine bit underneath, but then with the fairings at the front and the panniers, I always felt it looked a little I don't know, a little unfinished, a little, I don't know, like it was missing something. Then I saw a couple of other pictures online where people had ordered these lower fairings and had them fitted. So I found a company online that were doing it, and they only offered it in 3 colours. I think it was white, red, weirdly Kawasaki green, which is an interesting colour for a Honda part, but there you go, and in black. And I thought, well, you know, my bike's black, the part's black, give it a whirl. Again, wasn't that expensive. I'm really pleased with the change in appearance. So if I can find somewhere that's quiet enough where I'm utterly embarrassed by talking to a camera and walking around my bike, I'll give you guys a little bit of a tour, and you know, feel free to pop in the comments and see whether you think it's better, worse, whether I should have left alone or whatever. It's all personal choice, I guess. I guess I'm from that that age of people that grew up with things like Max Power magazine and Redline magazine and all those other sort of things, and I guess that little bit of me wants to customise something, wants to change it to make it a bit more my own. I guess that's where that comes from as well. So the next village that we're going to come along to is beautiful views over there. You can just see the sea. So the next village we're going to come to is Lythe and Lythe Bank, and then from there we will be dropping down into Sandsend. Sandsend is another really popular place in the summer. Don't know what it'll be like today, but it's super popular. Also fairly spectacular wave-wise, but I'll give you a bit more information, tell you a little bit more about that when we get a little bit closer. But for now, I'm going to shut up for a bit and just let you enjoy the views in this road. We've just entered Lythe, and then we're going to pop around this corner, and then we'll see Lythe Church on the left in a little bit. Another cute little village, and then we will be on Lythe Bank, and Lythe Bank is another steep bank along the road out to Whitby. Now, when I was learning to ride, as Lythe Church, when I was learning to ride, and I had a little Yamaha 125. Getting up Lythe Bank, see us through 18%. Getting up Lythe Bank was fun. It was a classic throttle pinned open. Don't even dare try and snatch anything past second. Sometimes it was first, but I love this bike, and I love the shove that you get. When you wind it on a bit, and I can only imagine what that would feel like if you had an even more powerful bike than what this is. But there is something incredibly fun about a 125 and spending almost all of your ride with the throttle pinned open. I think that thing maxed out with me on it. And at the time I was chunkier than I am now, so you know, nearly just under 17 stone is what I was then. I mean, that thing would max out at about 58 on a straight if I got down behind the screen. So obviously the NT makes this, I'm sure when we come back up, the NT will make this seem like absolutely nothing. But oh, look at those breakers coming in. So that's Sandsend down there in the dip that you can see. See those breakers coming in. Now the interesting thing about Sandsend is that it's got the road goes right really at the front. It comes round, you'll see in a second, it comes really close to the sea, and it's got those breakers, which I wish I could remember the name from A-level geography, but I can't. And the idea is that they divert the waves up, so they get rid of their energy splashing up rather than hitting against the front. But what that means is that when the tide's in and the waves are rough, you can stand here, and most people from this area have, and the waves crash right up over the top and over this road, and it's fairly spectacular. Although to be fair, even though the tide's out, it's spectacular this morning. You can see the sea fret just hovering in the distance over there. I don't know if you can see. Never know with the GoPro whether it'll pick it up or not. Is Whitby Abbey, which is the end point for the journey. You see, there's actually still a fair few people down there on the beach, which is nice. It is January, but it's a fairly mild morning. What this does make me think, though, is that Whitby's going to be busy. So we might need to find somewhere else to. Not the way Seagull. Might need to find somewhere else to do a little bit of a walk around and also need a picture for the thumbnail from somewhere. That's it, ride that clutch. Still learning. Hopefully there's enough battery in this left in this GoPro that I can leave it on right along the front, because it's nice along here. You get back up onto the top cliff and you go past Whitby Golf Club as well, which is lovely. See how popular this place is by the sheer volume of cars that there are here. Odd little space every now and then, but it's pretty busy. You often see a lot of surfers parked along here as well, in their camper vans or what have you, ready to hit the waves and stuff. Something I've never tried, but would be willing to give it a go if I could find somewhere that had warm enough weather. So that's that's us leaving Sandsend. Now, technically we're in Whitby, although Whitby for real starts a little bit further up, I think, realistically. And we're back up on the top again. And that's Whitby over there in the distance. That's Whitby Golf Club, you can see down there. I always remember it was very difficult to get into back in the day. I don't know whether things have changed. I'm not really a golfist, my granddad was. But a couple of swings on a driving range and decided that I don't have what it takes. Whatever it is that it takes to play golf, I don't have it. It really is a beautiful day. Beautiful day. So what we'll do is we'll come into the top of Whitby, and then we're going to head out onto the west cliff, which is the high cliff in Whitby, and then in a perfect world I'll find a nice little area to be able to park the bike. Right, I'm braving it. I'm doing a piece of video even though there's people around. So embarrassing. So just got to the top of Whitby West Cliff. You can see over in the distance, got a pier, and there's the old NT. So, bits I wanted to show you just flip this camera around. So, that's the new low pannier that I've put on it. There you go, so you can just see, so it's this area here. So on a standard DeVille, standard NT, that's all exposed. And you see all the pipes and things, but what I wanted to do was try and give it a little bit of something and just get that covered up. So, see, just in there. We've got a little bit of webbing just down there, just because if this was the standard exhaust, then the exhaust had a heat shield, but because this is a custom stainless steel one, it doesn't, and the little piece there where the fairing would have actually touched, so we just put a little bit of that little bit of exhaust sort of wrap just on it, just to give it an extra bit of just protection against it, and then it just comes up there as well just to protect it. But yeah, that's it. And I think she looks better for it. Be interested to see what you think in the comments. So, as I mentioned, feel free to pop in the comments whether you think it looks better or it looks worse. If I can find a similar sort of shot that I've taken in the past, without that low fairing on, I will pop that in, and then you can have a look and compare and see what you think. I'm a fan, I like it. Let's see. So, the old Whitby Adventure Golf down there. which most people from this area will remember playing at some point in their lives. So I think what we're going to try and do is, whilst there's a fair few cars, it's not anything like Whitby normally is. So I think we're going to head down to the front. I'll leave the GoPro on as long as it lasts, but we'll see how long that actually is. Next 911. Some more bikes up there. And then probably grab a cup of coffee or something down there. So you got the famous Whalebone Arch, and there you got Whitby Abbey up on the top there. Oh, the Noble! Wow, look at that! M12. Wow! Awesome. Don't know that I've ever seen an M12 in the flesh before. Nice. So this road that we're on now is going to take us down through this little row of shops, and it'll bring us down on to the front of Whitby, down sort of where the shops and all the fish and chip bits are and all that sort of jazz. And then hopefully there'll be somewhere down there where we can just leave the bike when it's not in anybody's way. And I think I'm going to forego the fish and chips because my son's at home and I feel a little bit mean grabbing the fish and chips while he's not here. So, but I am tempted to get a cup of coffee and have a little bit of a leg stretch, I think, because not that I'm uncomfortable, not that this bike's uncomfortable in any way, shape or form, but a leg stretch might be nice. It is a beautiful place, Whitby, if you've never been. If you ever get the opportunity to pop around here for a day, and pick your day wisely is all I'd say, because it's incredibly busy in the summer. But if you're not coming to play on the beach and you just come and have a look around, you know, a nice crisp winter or spring day, you'll enjoy it just as much, and you'll be able to get parked and have a good look. Now, there was a time back in the day that out of season Whitby was pretty much shut down. It's not really the case anymore now. Most things are open most year round, I would say. Got a replica there, Captain Cook's ship. Abbey up on the west cliff there. Keep an eye out for suicidal pedestrians. Unless that's that new highway code rule, I need to find out what that is. Whitby's famous swing bridge there. It swings open in the middle to let the ships through. Whitby's lifeboat down in the harbour. And over in the distance on the right hand side there's Tate Hill Sands, which is where allegedly the big man himself, Drac, washed up in Bram Stoker's books. And there's a little Dracula experience you can go to on the front down there. One of those scary walk-through places. That tea stand my dad and mum used to take me to when I was a kid. A burger and a hot dog. Nice. And then quite often the road swings to the left in a little bit and then heads back up towards the Whale Archway, where this is like a loop. But quite often you can just pop your bike on the bottom there, and there's often there is a coffee stand here which sometimes is open, which is what my plan is. Let's have a little look. Oh, look at that. There's the coffee stand. For any fans of Top Gear, just at the end of the pier, I think it was Top Gear rather than Grand Tour, is where Clarkson parked the BMW i8 and the then current M3 when he came for a little comparison to see whether he thought that the future was better than the past. Just parked it right at the end there, just near the lighthouse, and had a bit of fish and chips. So, with a little famous bit of Whitby Pier. Just had a nice little walk around Whitby. Managed to resist the fish and chips and just stick with a cup of coffee. It's lovely. Beautiful day. Sun's just out. Temperature's just nice. Not too many people around, not too busy. It's great to see in the background there. So the breakers coming in. Lovely. And then out down that side, you got the West Cliff and the rest of Whitby. And that's looking down the coast, back all the way that we rode all around that way. It's pretty good. So I think the plan now is probably going to be back on the bike. Been off the bike about 40 minutes now. Already miss it. Need to get back on. And then head back over. I think. Hopefully there's enough battery left in one of the GoPro batteries that I can bring you along for the ride on the way back. But if you're out this way, North Yorkshire Coast, highly recommend it. Beautiful place. Well worth it visiting. If you're not around. Catch you on the bike in a bit. Right, well that was fun. Little wander around Whitby, nice cup of coffee. Enjoyed that a lot. So we're just heading back up on the West Cliff, and then from there it'll be exactly the same journey that we did on the way here, just obviously in reverse. I'm going to head back this way, just see if that Noble's still there. Oh, there she is. Look at that. If it wasn't on such a blind bend, I'd be tempted to try and get a picture of the bike near it. Gorgeous. Trying to desperately build up my, not only my skill level, but my biker resilience as well. Whenever you think whenever you feel you've done something that to you feels epic or special, or I don't know, like you took a lot of effort or a lot of determination or whatever, you see people who've got their own YouTube channel who just blow you into the water, blow you out the water, even with some of the stuff that they do. You know, you watch some of Teapot One's stuff and some of the endurance stuff that he does on that little 125. I watched those videos not so long ago. You should check them out, they're awesome. I mean, that's commitment to your craft, that really is. The waves come right over in that car park as well. When the tide's in, a couple of surfers going out as well. Awesome. Alright, so this is approaching Lythe Bank again. Hopefully the Mondo in front isn't going to hamper progress too much. Although, to be fair, there's hardly any nice echo then off the wall from the exhaust. It's just the torque of the engine's pulling her up, to be perfectly honest. And then when you get up here, it's a little signpost back there that just crosses you into the North York Moors National Park. There's so many other little routes that you can do, and I'm going to try and make some more videos exploring the area a little bit further. Right, we're back out on Lythe now, and we're just going to head back across to the back up the coast in the same way that we came down. So I think for this video we'll probably call it there. Not going to be anything new that we're going to ride back that you haven't already seen, I think. So it would just be the same stuff back a different way. So thank you very much for joining me with you on this trip. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope we got to see some nice bits of scenery. As ever, if you've got any suggestions or comments, please pop them in the box, and I'll respond to as much as I can. And I'm always up for ways to try and make what I'm doing a little bit better. It's still a fairly new channel, so I want to make content that people enjoy watching. So any suggestions are very welcome. If you do like what you see, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and that little bell thing to make sure that you get notification when next time I put something out. I'll try and leave it not as long this time, but it will all be weather dependent and family commitment and work commitment dependable. Thanks very much for joining us, and I'll catch you in a future video. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.